It's how the hits say here. And I want to talk about today about passing my real estate exam while being pregnant. Alright, so I I started last year in 2020, started my classes online, but then the pandemic happened and got laid off and whatnot from my job. So I kind of got distracted, started making money with music and stuff like that. But I still wanted to get my real estate license. So I was close to finishing the software, the classes on Mbition. That's an online school. And then that was in Pennsylvania. Then I relocated to Georgia. So when I moved to Georgia, everything started opening back up after the pandemic, and I happened to be around 7 months pregnant at this time. Well, a little less. I was like 6 months, and I'm like, all right, let me start taking my classes. I want to pass this test before the baby comes here, before the baby gets here. And just recently moved to Georgia, so I'm like, man, this, I'm going to have a newborn, I'm going to have to make a change in my career. So what I did was I took the course. I was studying every day. I passed the course. I took the online, I'll link the online class in the description. I'm not getting paid for this or anything, so alright. So I took the online class. I passed. That took me like 3 months while working, while being pregnant, and then it was time to take the exam. So while I was working, I would listen in my headphones. I downloaded a book. What book did I download? It is the Georgia Real Estate. I don't know if you guys can see this, but Georgia Real Estate License Exam. Alright, so at work, I'd listen to this book over and over and over and over. I just put my headphones in, put my hat over, and just constantly just listen to this book. So I started getting more familiar with the real estate concepts and all that. And I didn't want to schedule my test until I felt like I was comfortable. So I listened to that book for like about a month. I scheduled my test about 3 months out, and then that was like the month. Alright, so my baby was due in July, and it's currently July now. I scheduled my exam in June, and I was like, man, alright, so I gotta pass this because, after that, my baby's gonna be born. Oh, okay, examination date was June 23rd. So I was like, I gotta pass because my baby's due in July 18th, and this is a goal that I had. So despite all the pregnancy stuff I was going through, it was a pretty easy pregnancy, but I just was super focused on real estate before he comes. Alright, so other than downloading the Audible book, I also downloaded. Alright guys, so this is my baby boy. Yeah, he was just crying, so I had to attend. This is my first kid, so alright, let me get back. So I had to download. Hi baby. I downloaded an app, real estate. Okay. So I downloaded real estate exam for dummies. So when I scheduled my test, I had 3 months. Okay, baby. Alright, when I scheduled my test, I had 3 months to get the test, to study to get the test done. So I'm listening to that book every day. I'm practicing practice questions on real estate exam. On my online course, Mbition, they had practice exams, so I was doing that as much as possible. I was doing the practice exams on the app. So I took my test, and I failed the first time. Failed the first time, so I was like, damn it. I failed by 3 points. So if I would have got 1 or 2 more questions right, I would have passed. So after that, I was like, man, I need to study more. I circled, I don't know if you guys can see this, but I circled the areas that I was weakest in on the test, and I decided to double down and study on those. So what I did after that was I brought exam prep on because I saw there was a lot of people, you know, passing and having success with exam prep. You okay? So I downloaded exam prep, and I doubled down on the categories that I was weakest in, and I studied those. I put my test for a week later, for a week after I failed the first test, and I was like, I want to keep all the information fresh in my mind. I want to take this test again. I know that I'm gonna pass the second time. So after I'm studying for the whole week, you know, I'm writing down questions. I wrote down questions on the back of my failed paper. So stuff that I knew I needed to know. So I went to go take the second test at another facility, all the way in Macon, Georgia. Okay. He's being fussy. So I took the second test all the way in Macon, Georgia. After, you know, studying on exam prep, and exam prep actually was made by, you know, people who make the test. So the questions were very similar. So I found that, you know, and I listened to a bunch of YouTube videos on exam prep and, you know, other real estate practice, you know, other real estate practice tests and questions and practice prep for the real estate exam. And, you know, I went the second time, and when I was taking the test, I'm like, wow, like the questions are very similar from exam prep. And I made sure to take as many practice tests as possible, not just exam prep. I took, you know, online practice tests. I was still practice testing with my online course and the app. So when I went the second time, I'm like, I got this. What's wrong, baby? What's wrong? So when I went the second time, I passed. When I went the second time, I passed, and I still had him in my belly, and I felt accomplished. I'm like, wow. Okay.